Okay, so we're going to talk about antidepressant drugs. There are four main classes. Actually, there are three main classes: tricyclic antidepressant, monoamine oxidase inhibitors, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and atypical antidepressant. And atypical antidepressant are the class of the drugs. There are only two drugs in that, and they do not fall into any other categories. That's why they have put it in the atypical antidepressant. So in this video, we're going to talk about tricyclic antidepressant, what their mechanism of action and side effects, and there are a couple of things to remember about all the antidepressant medication, and we'll cover that one shortly as well. So mechanism of action. This medication prevents presynaptic reuptake of norepinephrine and serotonin. Well, yeah, it's kind of a complicated sentence, but let's take a look. And we all know what's the structure of the neurons. It's like this is axons right there. This is its body, and this is dendrites, and there is another neuron right here, and dendrites. Sorry, my drawing is not really good, but now these neurons are not attached to each other. They do not have any kind of connection in between them. These dendrites of this neuron, the first neuron, and the axons of the second neurons, they're not attached. The way they transmit their message to each other is through the neurotransmitter, such as norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine, so etc. So whenever this neurons wants to give a message to this first neuron wants to give a message to the second neuron, what it will do, its dendrites will release some neurotransmitters, like right here in this space, and this neurotransmitter will go and attach to the axon of this second neuron and will deliver the message. Now what happens once the message is delivered? Some of this neurotransmitter will get breakdown by the enzymes, and some of the neurotransmitter will be taken back to the first dendrites, and that's how they transmit their message. Now in depression, they thought the theory is there is a deficit, or this neurotransmitter did not transmit their message properly. That's the theory is. There is no definitive diagnosis or reason why there is what causes the depression. So here, what these drugs do, when this first neurons delivers this neurotransmitter into the space, they prevent the reuptake by these dendrites. So this is dendrites. This medication will prevent the reuptake of norepinephrine and serotonin and will make them available for more period of time. So there will be more effect from norepinephrine and serotonin, and that thought to be relieve depression. So that's the basic mechanism of action. You don't really have to know in much detail, but you have to remember it prevents the presynaptic reuptake of norepinephrine and serotonin. What it means, it's just this mechanism of action. It prevents the reuptake and make them available for more time, so they can deliver their message to another neuron very efficiently. All right, so let's take a look into the side effects and contraindication. Now, this medication will increase the level of norepinephrine and serotonin in the brain. However, this medication will also increase the effect of norepinephrine and serotonin in the rest of the body as well. I mean, it's not specific. It's not going to just go into the brain and work over there, because when you give medication, it's going to go all over the body and going to produce its effect in the rest of the body organs as well. So the side effects are going to be based on this, and we know the norepinephrine is a neurotransmitter for sympathetic nervous system. So there will be side effects like there will be side effects like sympathetic nervous system's effect. So let's take a look. Sedation. It causes the orthostatic hypotension because it blocks the alpha 1 receptors on the vessels, and we know like alpha 1 receptor blockage will cause the dilation of vessels. It can cause the cardiac arrhythmia. It will cause the anticholinergic side effects such as dry mouth, constipation, urinary retention, blurred vision, and tachycardia. It's anticholinergic. It's the same as the sympathetic nervous system effects as well. So whenever you excite sympathetic or block parasympathetic or cholinergic nervous system, it will cause dry mouth, constipation, urinary retention, blurred vision, and tachycardia. This medication interacts with MAOs, which is monoamine oxidase inhibitors. This is MAOIs, not MAIOs. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors, CNS depression such as benzodiazepine and barbiturates, because it will produce even more sedation and it will impair patient functionality, their activity, their daily activities as well. So you do not want to give this one with benzodiazepine and barbiturates. This one will be interacting with sympathomimetic, because sympathomimetic will cause the same side effects like dry mouth, constipation, urinary retention, blurred vision, tachycardia, and so forth. So if you give a patient a sympathomimetic medication, it will even worsen the side effects. And anticholinergic medications as well, because they have the same side effects. Now the important thing to remember, let me insert the example, but important thing to remember for any kind of antidepressant, like whenever you give a patient antidepressant medication, it will take about 2 to 3 weeks how 2 to 3 weeks to produce its effects. So you have to wait for at least 2 to 3 weeks in order to see the improvements in the symptoms of depression. However, let's say if you put a patient on tricyclic antidepressant and it's not relieving their depression, then we definitely need to change the medications. We need to either put them on the monoamine oxidase inhibitors or selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Now, here's the important thing to remember. You cannot stop one medication, for example, tricyclic antidepressant today, and start them on monoamine oxidase inhibitor or selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor tomorrow. You have to at least wait 2 to 3 weeks in between in order to stop one class of drugs and start another one. This is really, really important for NCLEX, so make sure you remember that. You do not want to stop one today and start another one tomorrow. You wait at least 2 to 3 weeks in between. Otherwise, they'll have a really bad side effects, because it will take 2 to 3 weeks to wear these medications off, and once they wear off, you can start another one. So that's the reason. So the examples for tricyclic antidepressant is amitriptyline, amoxapine, desipramine, doxepine, nortriptyline, protriptyline, triamciprine, and clomipramine. This is about the tricyclic antidepressants. If you have any questions or concerns, just feel free to ask us anytime. Thank you.